Hey everybody, welcome to the Stitch Sessions. Today my special guest is the delightful, the amazing, the a woman extraordinaire.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous, also my BFF, the lovely Miss Sarah.
Hi.
So I'm so delighted that we're going to spend some time
Thank
together,
you.
and I'm super excited that you guys are going to hang out with us. So grab a work in progress and stick around for some stitch and chat.
Cheers.
Let the games begin.
My grandmother would be devastated.
Oh, did she know you were?
No, but I mean, crochet's in her blood.
I know, it's part of our DNA. Okay, so you're going to start with, oh no, I have to show you how to make a magic ring. Totally different, because we're going to make a circle.
Okay.
We're going to make a little stocking.
Christmas time.
Yes. Do you like my decor?
'Tis the season.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to do a magic circle. So you're going to go around like that, and then you're going to just bring that up so that it creates a little loop there.
Oh God, this is my worst
Oh,
part.
hold on. So this long part,
Long part?
has to be over there too.
So am I doing the? Hold on.
Yeah. So we go like this, and then the long part stays behind.
Okay.
Yeah. So see how we're crisscrosses? I just hold there,
okay.
and then
I'm not crisscrossing in the right spot.
you're okay there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you stick it in, and then just hook that other piece through. That's it. So now what we have to do is we have to keep this circle as a circle. And so you have a loop like that. And then we're just going to do a little chain to secure it. Ding, ding. This is going to be easy
It's in
peasy.
my blood.
So
I
now-
don't know what I did. My hands just
they just went there.
They just did it.
So, so let's chain one more. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do 12 single crochets into the circles. So,
Well, you do that. I'm just going to do a long rope.
yes. Well, just
Okay.
to show you again. So you're going to put it into the circle.
Like
and-
that here?
Yeah.
No, I don't know if I'm holding it the right way.
So you're going to hold your circle in front and the
Mhm.
working yarn behind.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, oops. So then you're going to insert your hook into the circle
Uh-huh.
to then grab that working yarn. The long one, yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now you've got two kind of loops on the hook. Now you're just going to loop it under and then pull through.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Got it.
Ta-da! So, and then you're just going to do that 12 times into the circle. And then I'll show you how to just pull the little, so you want to keep your little tail on the outside because eventually we just cinched your circle shut. Oh goody, I can
Okay.
see how thrilling this is to you. So what I meant to ask you actually is, have you done the, you know, the Christmas cards you do with Marisol and you do the Christmas, did you notice I have her?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't even believe it. Marisol is Sarah's daughter,
Yes.
which is also my
little
goddaughter,
baby.
one of the apples of my eye. So yeah, did you have you set up a photo shoot
Yes.
for?
Yeah, it's going to be in a couple of weeks just before Christmas, just so
Oh,
I can get
cool.
all my, then get my cards out ready.
Who's doing the?
It's the same photographer that we always use. She's up in Bolton.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, the ones that I've been using for her.
I mean,
shots
she takes great photos.
Oh, she's so great. It's like she has the backdrops, and you know, she just.
And she catches really great
Yeah.
moments. Like that's the thing with photography too, is when you're working with people, it's catching the essence of that person as
Yeah.
opposed to like, you know, doing the
Yeah.
the posy stuff, and you want it to look natural, right?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, her shots for her second birthday, it took a long time to get a couple good ones. She just was not in the mood. So we will see. We will see how it goes.
Ah. So that kind of brings me to the topic of conversation I kind of wanted to chit chat with you about today, and that is like, you know, you have a child, or you know, just the social media thing and posting, and when do you think is sharing too much sharing or too much over posting, oversharing, where you're kind of running into a lack of privacy? Like, where do you think that the line is?
Yeah.
Is there a line? I don't know. It's a different age, right?
This is such a huge topic, just because like most adults in my generation, I would say, are on social media regularly. Yeah. Instagram, Facebook,
it's how you
Twitter,
communicate.
Whatever the new ones are, Snapchat, if anyone's still using that.
It's
hard because, I mean, we post a lot of what's going on in our lives. And I'll preface by saying I don't post every minute of my day, but I don't have a problem with people that do because I follow a lot of people that post every minute of their day, and it's my entertainment.
Yeah. So it's like this catch-22 thing, right?
So, like, there's a lot of influencers online that I like to follow, and, you know, they post a lot of stuff about their kids, and... Right. You know, it really kind of bonds you to them in a weird way. You feel like you know them, which is why you trust them, which is why you may buy some of the products that they endorse, which is why they're successful at what they're doing.
Yeah. But what about, like, just regular people, like your friends that feel like they have to post 15 times a day and put in all these inspiration quotes and 40 different viewpoints of their child of the same photo, or, you know what I mean? Like, or talking about intimate details where they're like, when, I don't know. I just think. So I guess
I'm doing a string.
Okay, so we're going to work on an Afghan. So, good show.
I'm doing
okay. I will continue on with the toe of my
I think that's
stocking.
more than 12. That might be more than 12.
It's a little bit more than 12. Yeah. That's okay.
I'm going to get creative. I'm just going to do my own thing here.
Awesome. I love it.
do my own design.
This is what we're all about.
SMD design.
SMD.
Okay, so you know what? Honestly, it's really tricky. To be honest with you, because this is going online, I'm also afraid to offend everyone because we live in rage culture.
We do live in rage culture. So, yeah, very true, very true.
So, okay, for me personally, I post. I wouldn't say regularly. I post about my kid when I think it's a really cute shot, or when I think that it's really something adorable or funny or whatever. My husband is he's not born in Canada. He is an immigrant. He's been here a few years, and his entire family lives back home.
So
So me sharing pictures of my daughter, it's kind of the only way that a lot of these people, her family, are going to get to see her, get to know her, get to grow up. We don't have the luxury of being able to go back that regularly. So this is how his mom and his sisters and our nieces and all that kind of stuff, this is how they kind of get to at least know something about Marisol.
I mean, and this is one of the wonderful things about something like a Facebook or an Instagram.
Now, I mean, there are, like I said, people that I follow that I enjoy their multiple posts about their kids and their lives every day. And there's people that, maybe I've stopped following because I find it's a little incessant. The thing with social media, I think it all just has to do with what you're comfortable with. The caveat, of course, being is that, we're putting our kids on Facebook, and obviously they haven't consented to it, and, maybe they're, when they're a little bit older, they're not going to want a presence on social media, or maybe these platforms that we're currently using aren't even going to be around. So it's really tricky. I mean, I have some friends I know that post images of their children without their faces. So, like, maybe, like, they're at the park and it's their kid from behind. Or
I see what you mean. Yeah. It's not like they're blocking out the face, because then what's the point of taking the photo?
It's just like a photo of not their face. Like, still showing what they're doing, like, an activity, what, kind of Instagram is made for, all that kind of stuff. I choose to, put my daughter's face on for the reasons that I've already said.
You also have, like, a privacy set. Like,
exactly,
you also are sharing it with your friends. It's not like it's a public profile.
Exactly. Like, my Instagram is private. My Facebook, I think, I hope. I don't know.
You have to keep double checking.
Yeah, you have to check it regularly. But, I do, when I get a chance, like, adjust my privacy settings to make sure that it's private. And I have, majority of the people that I allow, particularly on Facebook, like, I know. I mean, there's obviously those people that, were like 3 years older than me that I went to high school with, that when Facebook came out, we added. And I maybe just haven't got around to deleting.
Right. Because back in the day, it was like, okay, I have 300 friends.
Exactly. That's what it was about.
Really? Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's all like a real personal choice. I mean, that's kind of the gist of how I feel about it. I mean, I don't want to kind of like be negative about the people that do post a ton of stuff. Because like I said, I mean, part of it is my entertainment. So I'm happy they do it.
But I mean...
and it's their choice. And isn't that what it's kind of really about?
Absolutely. It is their choice. But I do think that there's a difference between like a celebrity and like a regular everyday person who thinks that we all need to know what they feel about the guy that cut them off this morning, or, you know, how we should live, or, you know, some people really kind of take it as their soapbox, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, the simple thing for that is just to unfollow them or unfriend them, what have you. But, yeah, I guess the other thing is the privacy thing, too, because how much of it is actually secure. Mm-hmm. Like somebody the other day, I noticed they got an Instagram account. And I'm like, oh, wow, you're finally on social media. This is cool. And she says, oh, yeah, no, because I heard it's much more secure than Facebook. And I'm like, oh, really? And apparently there's a thing going around where the security of Facebook, they can hack into your identity, whereas apparently Instagram is now seen as much more secure. I was like, I wasn't even aware of those issues. I mean, social media is also changing so quickly all the time. I mean, there's so many different platforms that come and go all the time. It's hard to keep up to date. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a new world, I tell you.
I think you just have to, especially when it comes to stuff about kids, you just, make your decision and stick with what you're comfortable with. Because in the end, you're going to be the one that's dealing with the consequences if they arise. Or, you know what I mean? So it's just, I think like we're so judgy of each other right now too. Because like I said, we live in a rage culture. Everyone does put a lot of their lives on display. Yeah. And people feel like because it's out there that everyone has an opinion. Everyone is entitled to voice their opinion.
Right.
So like, what I'm hesitant to sort of be like, oh, I can't. It annoys me that people post all the time, which it really doesn't. But if I were to say that, it sort of sparks other things, and people feel like shamed, and
But at the same time, like you're also entitled to your opinion, and this is a lot of topics of conversation right now, especially in like the political arena, which is chaos, and I'm not going to talk about. But it should be okay that if you disagree with something that, like, let's say that I like, and we've had kind of cool debates where it's like you're like, well, I kind of disagree, blah blah blah, and you explain your point, and then sometimes I go, oh, I never thought of it that way, like that I feel like is going away. Because
totally.
God forbid anybody disagrees with anybody. It's just becoming this whole thing where everybody's just getting shut down, and it's not really, I don't think it's a good thing.
But I think it has to do with the way people disagree with each other in certain cases now. Like, people don't respectfully disagree with each other necessarily on social media. It's like, I'm outraged by this, you're ridiculous, this is so stupid, whatever.
It's like, everything is, how dare you?
Yeah, like, I can't believe you would do this. Like, so I think it's that, it's not that I don't think we can't disagree with each other, but I think we need to be like a little bit more civil. Like, your opinion doesn't need to be so forceful. At the end of the day, you're also following this person. So if you don't like it, just stop.
Tune out. Exactly. I mean, it's not like, you have some tea or crochet and have a civil conversation. It's a different one. I taught dance today, and I was just chatting with one of my students and how, I don't know how this topic of conversation came up about, remember when the internet first came out? I mean, you might still be a bit young for this.
Oh, when a Yahoo chat, ICQ?
Well, that was already after.
Yeah, that was
I remember when, like, AOL.
Yeah.
Oh, you have email? You got to get an AOL account. And now people are like, AO who? Who's AOL? One of my students was telling me that she was watching a game show about, like, identifying a song title. And I think in the song, the lyric says, oh, operator, can you help me, operator? Something like that. And the kid was like, what's an operator? Right? And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? But now that I think about it, a millennial would have grown up never having to ever get on the phone to an operator. Because that's just, who uses an operator? Does the operator still exist? Anybody in cyber?
I don't think so.
I mean, most people don't even have landlines anymore. No. But it really makes you go, oh, wow. Like, the world really has changed so much in the last 20 years since the internet.
Yeah.
Like I said, I remember when that first AOL account, my first boyfriend long distance, he had an AOL account. I was like, oh my God, I'm such a grown up. I'm sending an email. And now look at how quick, I mean, now we've got airwaves where you can just clap or say, hey Siri, turn the lights on. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, I mean, you got to really take change into perspective as well. And adapt. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I mean, and many of us can go, well, back in the day, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? The reality is life does keep moving forward. The world keeps evolving. Things keep changing. And you can either kind of adapt to it or get left behind.
Yeah.
Basically. So, no, I kind of like you're always so level-headed when you say, really it's a personal choice, then you're right, because I'm always like, why do they have to do this? Why do they have to do that? And at the same time, it's like, they can do whatever they want, and I don't have to pay attention if I don't want to. It's kind of like, when people criticize what somebody else is wearing, like, oh my God, how could she wear such a thing? And at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? If she feels confident wearing it, I say kudos to her. I wouldn't have the confidence to wear whatever we're discussing. But at the same time, if you don't look like it, look the other way.
Yeah.
Like
that's just it, right?
It is, when it comes down to it, really is. That's all it is. It's just, that's the beauty of living in a free country and a free world. So that is the scoop with that. So that's going to be quite the beautiful blanket. Indeed.
I'm going for couch blanket.
Yes, the infamous Afghan.
Maybe make a poncho. A tree skirt.
The poncho, the tree skirt. So you saw a nice tree skirt at
Winners. They have the best tree skirts. You could almost wear them like a sweater. As I almost once did.
I'm so going to tell this story because last year for Christmas I crocheted Sarah a poncho because a few years back we were at Winners.
Yeah.
And it was like a rack full
I was very into ponchos at the time also.
She was into like groovy yeah, and it was kind of an in thing to do. So it was a rack actually full of tree skirts. And I'll never forget, I don't know if you actually like put it on.
I don't think I got to
you're
actually
like, oh
put it
my
on.
God, feel this. This would look amazing. And I think you were like kind of putting it against you. And I pointed to the side. I said, girl, this is the tree skirt. She basically just looked at me, rolled her eyes, told me to shut up and moved on.
You can wear a tree skirt if you want. Be yourself.
Absolutely. See?
Be yourself.
Everybody has their own creative juices, If you want to wear a tree skirt, more power to you. So yeah, the holidays are quickly approaching.
Yeah.
Like I know we're still in November, but it is crazy. As soon as Halloween gets through, everything is madness. Like there's already Christmas carols in the stores. It's decorations galore. You can tell the season because everywhere you go, someone has a sparkle somewhere on their face because they walked by.
They've encountered some sparkle in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I did start my Christmas shopping early this year.
Oh, good. Okay, you're on it.
I'm trying, I mean, it's so easy now, right? Like, I'm going to online shop anyway.
Thank you, Amazon.
So let's do it early and get it over with. That way, I'm not stressing closer to. And,
no, it's so true.
And if the last minute stuff comes up, like I'm not stressed about that. And so I've tried to start a bit earlier this year. Yeah.
But you know what? The thing with the online shopping, I think it has definitely changed the way, back in the day, stores or retail outlets, because you really have that push to like a Black Friday, and now you have Cyber Mondays or the Boxing Day sales. But I think, and I was having this discussion with somebody, there's now a shift where businesses are not cashing in the way they used to because everything is online and everything always has some kind of promotional sale all the time. So, even now they're starting to do stuff like Black Friday early sale, save 25% now. So like by the time you get to a Black Friday or a Boxing Day, I don't think retailers are noticing the same kind of impact that they once did.
Yeah, I agree. But I think at the same time, like, because those used to be like the days when they made record sales and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like the fact that they're spreading it to online and they want a pre-Black Friday and pre-Boxing Day, like they're able to capitalize and make money earlier.
But do you think they're making more?
Probably. That's why they're still doing it. Yeah.
Because I just figure, like if people already bought the pre-Black Friday and then how much more, I don't know. How much more can you consume?
A society of such consumption. Like everyone wants a good deal. You'll
exactly
buy a TV that you don't need, some people, because it's a screaming deal, right?
It is.
Or you'll pick up stuff at that time of year because it's cheaper than something that you needed in the summer, a barbecue or whatever.
And I think psychologically, I used to have a student who would buy tons of lessons when they didn't need any.
Yeah.
But it just happened if I had a promotion at that time, I'd be like, well, I like me being the one who should just shut up and take their money. I would say, but are you sure? Like, you've got like 4 million lessons still to go. And they would say, no, it's too good of a deal to pass up.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I think with some people it really is that psychological, I just want the deal.
Or they're just smart because they know that maybe I'm going to
guess
use
so.
this anyway. I might as well get it when I get a deal on it.
I guess so, but here's my
If you
thing.
can afford it.
Yeah, here's my thing with something like dance lessons. It's like, I mean, some people just buy them at the rate where I don't even think you'll live long enough to use all them. Why would you keep buying? It's not like a thing, right? Like when you buy a thing, you can stockpile it or whatever. But to like accumulate services, I don't know. Mind you, I guess if you had the chance to buy 80 manicures at a super discounted rate, you would probably do it.
Yeah, because I know over the course of however long that I'm going to use it.
Yeah. Because you get your hands done every week, right?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
It's such a nice treat for yourself. I mean,
it's something I've done for myself for years. It's something that, I can afford. So,
good for you.
It makes me feel good. I like to have manicured nails. It makes me feel clean and complete. And, I work in a business with a lot of other people and it's, professional atmosphere. So I do like to look my best. And for me personally, that comes from nails as well. Like I don't, some people, don't care about having nail polish. That's totally great. That's their style. Yeah. I particularly don't like chips and that kind of thing. I mean, obviously don't judge people that do, but that's personally my thing. I can't have chip nails.
We're not judging, but one thing I can't stand, it's either like you have polish or you have nothing. It's when it starts, sometimes when people just kind of let it wear out and it just looks just disgusting. Yeah. It's like, and it's distracting to me because it's like, it just skeeves me out for whatever reason. It's my thing, but yeah, it bugs me. So
I always look at people's hands. It's something, obviously I look at their face when I'm talking to them, but I always sneak a peek at people's hands. It's just what I do. And I assume that people do that to me, which I'm sure they don't. But for me personally, I always like to have
well, it's like some people will get a blowout once a week, It's like, what's the difference with that, right? Like being a dance teacher as well, like for us, having nice feet is really important because like
people look at them constantly.
Well, like for the girls anywhere, we wear Latin shoes that are open-toed shoes. So, I mean, there's nothing worse than seeing somebody who doesn't really take care of their feet, and it's what you see, it's what you look at. So, it's just putting all of it into perspective. And at the end of the day, like life is also meant to be lived and have a bit of fun, for God's sake. If you can't, have a treat for yourself, like what's the point? Anyway.
Yeah, so that's the little thing I do for myself is my nails.
Yeah. Well, I definitely love my crochet time. And, but it's funny, we were having that conversation about consumption. I've been really trying to just like use the yarn that I have. And I know a lot of crocheters go through this issue. And it's like, you know what? Just come up with projects, use up what you have and then buy more. But what does Karen do? She goes, I just need, like I was working on a hat and needed more yarn. And I don't just get the thing I need. No, I have to get a complementing color because I'm going to come up with another project. And then I see, they've come up with new fibers, new materials. And it's like, I walk out of there with 6 new balls of yarn and I'm like, what happened to trying to use up the stuff that you have? It's just like, it's terrible. Because I'm trying not to like consume as many things anymore, but it's...
Well, and have all these things in your place.
Exactly. And then it's storage and it's this and it's that. I mean, luckily, I have lots of people I can give things to, and some people have been wanting to buy some of the things I've made, so that's been nice. But yeah, it's a thing, I tell you. What's your favorite thing that you like looking forward to when it comes to Christmas time? And I mean, actually, is it different now that you have Marisol?
Totally.
Yeah. So what, like before you had the baby, like what was the thing about the holidays that was you looked for? I mean, other than the time off, obviously. A couple of days off.
A few days off here and there. I think it's I can't believe I'm going to say it. It's the spirit. No, but what I mean is that like people are generally in a good mood. Yeah. They're looking forward to seeing each other. It's like, I mean, I have a large family. We don't get together that often just because we're so big and spaced out. So it's the one time of year when I know I'm going to see most of them. Mm-hmm. So it's always something to look forward to. And it definitely changed with having a kid. I mean, I've always loved my family. I've always liked spending time with my family. Mm-hmm. But when you have a kid, it just sort of, I don't know, I guess it just takes it to a different level, and you want to see them grow up and see them form relationships with people that you've had relationships with your whole life.
Yeah.
I really do like it. I mean, I guess the only thing about the holidays is it's so exhausting. Because everyone is in the spirit to get together. So you have all your groups of friends that want to get together for this, that, and the other thing.
It can be a scheduling nightmare.
Totally. And there's only, I mean, you're not going to be like, oh, should we have our Christmas get-together like mid-October? Like, it's not going to happen. Exactly. Even if you're doing them in November, you feel like it's a bit early. So, yet there's only, 3 available weekends in December. Couple days a week to do it. So, that's the only thing about the holidays that I kind of dislike, is that I just feel, I feel stretched a lot.
Yeah. Sense of urgency to like cram everything in.
And I try, like, when it comes to my friends and stuff like that, like, beginning of November, at least, like, for important people that I definitely know I want to see, like trying to make sure we schedule ahead of time, when we're going to get, when we're going to get together. Because then all of a sudden, the weekends run out.
That's it. And then the time comes and you're like, oh shoot, it's Christmas here and we haven't had a chance to schedule anything, make plans. But I mean, Marisol's 2 this year, so it's going to be much different in a way, because I think she's definitely more aware and like that kind of magic about. I do miss that. That's the one thing about being a kid I miss. It was such a magical time. Yeah, I mean, we're not really talking to her much about Santa or anything like that just yet, because she doesn't get it. But I mean, she goes to daycare, so they do. I'm sure they do holiday stuff and talk to them about that, because she knew all about Halloween and trick or treat and all this kind of stuff. Oh my god, that was so cute.
I think next year will really be diving into Christmas with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. This year it's still, because I mean, she doesn't really understand gifts or. She hasn't experienced Santa yet, except for at the mall, which was like never a hit.
Did you do it last year?
We did like 3 times last year just to try and get a good one.
Do you think you'll do it this year?
Yeah, we're definitely going to do it. Yeah, we're definitely going to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's a little bit sweeter with a kid.
It is.
Because you are kind of taken back to that, holiday spirit stuff. Like, for the longest time, I didn't even get a tree. Or any of that stuff.
You know what? I have gone through phases like that too, and I find, and then I have the studio, and then you have to have like themes and stuff, and even doing this show, like just getting back into like the spirit of the times of the year, and it is nice. It's fun, and people tend to be a little bit more in a more festive mood, and it's just you're right.
Good eating.
It's the time drinking. Of cheer. Yeah, it is good eating. It is so good eating. My goodness.
Yeah, and it's like with my family, it's like this is food that I don't have any other time of the year, so it's like nice to look forward to. And
queijadas.
Yes.
Oh, so all over it.
So I mean, I do like Christmas. I think I've always liked it. It's just. I mean, working and stuff like that. I mean, you work right up till the 11th hour in my case, and. But I mean, it's nice. It's nice to look forward to. I guess what I dislike the most about Christmas is that it's in the winter, and I'm not a winter person. So
damn that winter. Yeah. However, I can't imagine Christmas any other way. Like I like Christmas. I like snow, winter, like December 24th and 25th.
Yeah.
I don't mind it on the 26th. I don't mind it for New Year's. By January 2nd, I want it gone.
Yeah.
I'm not a winter person at all. But I spent 1 year. In Florida for Christmas when I was dating an American guy, and I have to say it was very strange.
Yeah,
because there's Christmas trees everywhere and decorations, and but your sense of time is discombobulated if you've grown up being used to having Christmas in the winter. It was very, very strange.
Yeah, like before my husband and I got married, I mean, he's from Cuba, so I would go down there to visit him, and I think a few times I went down on Christmas Day, so like I had my Christmas festivities with my family.
Yeah.
And then I went down there on Christmas Day, and you have to like see the, big Christmas trees in the hotel lobby when it's like 30 degrees. Or, I mean, we did New Year's down there several times too, which was actually nice because you could celebrate outside. It was like a big party and it was warm. But yeah, the Christmas part of it, just because, we grew up in Canada and Christmas means snow and chilly and, sweaters and coziness. But yeah, it's the snow that I hate because, like, I'm a driver. So it's hard getting anywhere when it's snowing and trusting other drivers to be safe on the road. And
that's the thing.
It's nerve-wracking, the getting around part. And I don't like the cold.
Those 2 things are absolutely hands down for me too. I'm not a big fan of the cold, and the driving always makes me, because I've had my share of bumper bumper car situations and full-on accidents where I think I was telling you the story where I think I was 16 and we were going to my aunt's house on Christmas Eve, and my parents had those old-fashioned, those big GMC vans where we didn't even have seatbelts in those days. We had a pull-out couch in the back. That's how we rolled. But funny, because the law had just changed then, and my dad had just installed bolted down seats with seatbelts, and we hit a patch of ice, and he did a donut, and then we actually skid into the ditch, and in the countryside, the ditches are deep, so we actually ended up rolling and being on our side. Now, being the dramatic kid that I am, the first thing I thought is, this thing's going to explode. I need to get out. I need to get... Because, you know, you watch The Dukes of Hazzard and all those shows where the cars just burst into flames. And so the van was on its side, and we were hanging by our seatbelts. So imagine...
That's terrifying.
It is terrifying. And my sister at the time, she might have been 2 or 3. She might have been 5 or 6. Okay, so she didn't, there were no car seats for 6-year-olds back then. At that point, you strap them into a regular thing. So I think she might have been in the middle of my brother and I. So we're hanging sideways. So my dad had to unbuckle, and then we were trying to push the door open, my mom's. And those things are heavy, right? You've got a piece of machinery. And you've got gravity against you. Yeah, and you've got gravity against you. So somehow, he jimmied us out of our seatbelts, and we crawled to the back, and then he was able to kind of push the back door open. But I have to tell you, it's one of those moments in your life where...
It's totally traumatizing.
Yeah, it sticks in your brain. So and especially at 16, I was a new driver, and then by the time I started going to university, I went to, Mac, and we lived in the country. So it was kind of on, we call it the mountain, where... the town of Inbrook is kind of up more towards the escarpment. So you had to go down the mountain in order to get to the west side of the city where the university was. And that mountain, when it's slippery and slidey, and I remember almost careening into a transport truck. And I don't know what happened. It was I started sliding, and I'm I turn my wheel, and I know what they say, you're supposed to turn into the skid or whatever, but for whatever reason, I just kept my eyes straight ahead. And at the 11th second, it just turned back, and I stayed in my lane. And I remember thinking, I am never leaving my home in the winter ever again. Although I have to say, moving to Toronto in a weird way took away my fear, because
it's less snowy.
It's less snowy. When you get into a bumper stump, what do they call that? When you have a little accident,
fender
bender. That's what it is. You're generally going slower. There's people around. You're not stuck in a desolate place with no vehicle, no communication, no light. Yeah. I mean, back in those days, I didn't have there was no cell phones yet, or easily accessible. I know I'm sounding like I'm a cave woman. But
the olden days.
Yes, the olden days, indeed. Speaking of which, we should get some light. Oh, I never told you that when we rolled into the ditch. Wow.
No, I just remember when you rolled into the ditch.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, when we opened the studio. Yeah, that was weird. It was one of those things where, for the first few years, it is kind of traumatizing because, when you get in the car, and I was a new driver, I became much more paranoid about it. And then, but like I said, moving to Toronto kind of took my fear away because I felt like I was always around other cars and other people. But yeah, a couple years ago when it was such a freak thing going to the studio, and it just the car started doing this, and so I just tried to relax, but then it really was going over here. So I tried to turn the wheel, and then my car did this, and it slid sideways into the ditch. Now, that particular ditch at the off-ramp wasn't deep.
Luckily, yeah.
And I slid sideways and was facing against traffic, but I was completely in the ditch, so I wasn't
in danger
in the lane, but... What I was worried about is if somebody else was going to skid and do the same thing and ram head on into me. So that was when I was a bit paranoid. But, yeah, man. Living in Canada. The
winter
joys.
Driving. How's your circle coming?
It's coming along great. Actually, I think I'm going to make a bigger stocking. So, this I think is an average little, stuffer.
That's good for a dog.
It's good for a dog?
Dog size. Dog size. You put the bones in it. Their little squeak toy.
Yeah. The little squeak toy, yeah. But then I've seen some designs where they make this big, huge one. But obviously you can't hang something like that. That would be nice to have cute little one to
that's
like
really
hang.
cute.
Yeah, this is a good size for that. I don't want to show the other side because this is actually already a gift for somebody. So, you know, in case they watch the show, I don't want to give away part of the present. But yeah, I thought I would do some stockings this year. And actually, I think I was telling you that I teach a little beginner's crochet class, and the girls finished their hats today. So we all I said, we got to take a selfie. We made our first project. So they were so cute. And actually next weekend, I'm doing I'm calling it a crochet retreat. It's really just a shopping trip. Because we don't have, here in Canada, we don't have Hobby Lobby or Joann's Fabrics. And so in Buffalo, they have it. So,
cool.
Because one of the girls was saying, oh yeah, then we should go to Buffalo. I said, hey, shopping trip. So, so next weekend we're going to do that. And I'm going to check out the Hobby Lobby. And Hobby Lobby, I think, is a lot like Michael's here. I think they have more variety of stuff. Like
everything in the States.
Yeah,
more stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. They just seem to have much more variety of things. So, yeah, so I thought, well, it might be kind of a cool little something to do, a little getaway. So, yeah, so there you have it. Oh, my goodness! That is super, super
I'm doing every stitch I know.
I love it. I love it. It's
in one.
It could be like a cool little headband. How about them apples? But, you know, I have to say, everybody has walked away from here making something or another. So, you know, it's acquiring a new skill. It's
fun. It's a little hard on the index finger because I'm like so tense.
Well,
I know we've talked about this before, but like I have to relax my hand, but I just
yeah. Is it
it's this
yeah, because
I can't not do it though.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that because I tend to like hold my yarn. I secure it here. That's part of like my tension situation, right? Some people just really just leave it really loosey-goosey up here. And for me, that just feels so loosey-goosey. Yeah. I can't do it. But sometimes I find if I don't have if the project hasn't been built up yet, sometimes I curl that in my hand so I don't squeeze as tight. If it's just this, I tend to squeeze it. After a while, I'm like,
yeah,
my hands are killing me. So
that's where I'm at right now. Little finger cramp.
Yeah. Actually, I'm excited. We're going to have some dinner. We're going to order in.
Girls' night.
Yeah. What is your favorite food? Actually, it's funny. Okay, I do know this because we're
You do know this.
I know a lot of the things that you don't like. So,
shall we begin the list?
No. You know why? Eater. Because I know the things that you do like. You love cucumbers.
Okay, we're talking veg. Yes, I like cucumbers.
You like your queijadas and melaçadas.
Melaçadas, yes, definitely.
Portuguese delicacies.
Yeah. Like entree-wise, like genre, maybe. Yeah. Obviously, I like Italian food. I like pasta is my probably number one favorite thing.
It's funny. I would have said Thai.
I do love Thai food.
Yeah.
I do love Thai food.
But yes, that makes sense because of the ravioli.
Yeah.
Have you ever been able to replicate?
No. There was a restaurant in Toronto. It was called The Standard. It's since closed. It had the best ravioli I've ever had in my life.
It's good.
I've never been able to get ravioli as good. So I'm on the hunt. If anyone knows any.
And it was butternut squash, right?
No way.
Excuse me.
I hate butternut squash. You know that. No.
After all these years,
ricotta.
I still have things that I find.
And I don't know. There may have been spinach in there, but there's cheese.
Okay. Yeah. There's still things I'm discovering. I'm like, she'll be like, girl, you've known me how many years, and you still don't know that I don't like such and such. I'm like, I didn't know.
No, I'm a fairly I don't consider myself a picky eater, but when I actually get into the
exactly,
I'm like, oh yeah,
because I've never come across situations where you're like, no, I don't need this, I don't need that. Like usually we go out and you just always find something.
Yeah.
So it's in certain times when you're like, girl, come on, I don't like that. I'm like, I didn't know that. Like cheesecake, I only found out 3 years ago that she doesn't care for cheesecake. Who
doesn't care is an understatement. I hate it. I love all cakes. Except for cheesecake. I love most cheese. I just don't want them together.
It's interesting. Although, you do like cheesecake ice cream.
Okay, so that time that we ate the cheesecake ice cream, that was more because it was like a strawberry cheesecake ice cream, and I like the strawberry stuff in it. And it was like a piece of cheesecake like this. So that's fine. I just don't like a piece of cheesecake. I'm a cake aficionado. I like I like cake with butter.
How do you feel about pie?
I like pie. I like a lot of pie. Most pies.
Is there a pie that you don't like?
Like blueberry's not my fave.
Oh, it's not?
No, I don't know. I like lemon meringue pie is probably my number one fave, and I like cherry pie. Those are my favorites.
See, lemon meringue pie was always my number one faves until I started spending a lot of time in Florida. Hey, Scott, if you're watching this episode. And so they have key lime pies, which are very similar. And let me tell you, I went to town with key lime pies.
Similar but not.
Similar but not. But I had so much of it that I now don't long for the meringue pie like I used to. Like, I'll still have it. I still enjoy it. But, I mean, I had a serious obsession with lemon meringue pie.
That is my favorite.
So, yeah. But the reason why I ask is there a pie you don't like? Because rhubarb pie.
You don't like it?
You know what? It is an acquired taste.
Yeah,
when I was a kid, I used to work in a grocery store, and they sold rhubarb pie.
You're talking strawberry rhubarb or like?
No, straight rhubarb.
Okay, I don't think I've had straight rhubarb.
So rhubarb is like, it's an acquired taste. So I'd be like, oh, rhubarb. But then they had the strawberry rhubarb pie. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually not bad. And then over the course of the years, like, it's just become one of those things that it's an acquired taste. So that's why I asked, is there a pie that you wouldn't like to eat?
Most sweets I like.
Yeah.
I have a sweet tooth.
Yeah. It's gotta be.
Oh, it's kind of a circle. It's gone into a bit of a circle.
That could be a bib, a future bib. So that's good. We're holding our. Hey, it's all about the creativity, getting the creative juices flowing. Hey, do you ever? I know you've told me before that when you were younger, you wanted to be a hairdresser.
I did. Yeah.
Do you think that you would ever kind of dabble in it, just something creative to do? Like,
I don't think so. Like,
no?
I think that, it's such skill.
You enjoy hair.
I do like hair. I have a lot of it. I've had to learn how to do my own, which as a girl with curly hair, anyone with curly hair that's watching knows is a big effort.
Yeah.
I don't think I could, because I've never been trained. Like, I mean, I think it's such a skill to be a hairstylist.
So let's say, like, years from now, maybe when you're, like, retired, do you think you might come back to it as like a second career or something?
I don't think I'm ever going to be able to retire. I am a millennial, so I likely will never be able to retire. I mean, I think if my life was different, if things were different, I mean, I'm happy with my career now and that kind of thing, but I think I like the creativity of it. Every hairstylist that I've ever known is like super chic and, just everything about them is lovely. So, I don't know, I think I would be scared to like do other people's hair though, to be honest with you. Like,
I was thinking about that the other day because I thought, oh yeah, it would be kind of interesting. Because like, like I like doing different things to my own hair, but it's like, because hair especially is the most particular thing that a woman kind of covets.
A lot of women, it has a lot to do with your identity for a lot of us.
And there's too much potential for, doing it not the way they want.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I've told you many times, when I come out and they're going, she didn't give me what I asked for.
Yeah, not happy.
Yeah. So it's...
no, I don't think I would ever, like, pick it up. Like, I think it's they're so skilled that it's not something that you should necessarily, I don't think, dabble in unless you know what the hell you're doing.
True. Especially when it comes to the cutting part of it.
The cutting part, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's different if you're into doing, like, updos or different hairstyles. But, yeah, when you start taking scissors to hair, it's a whole... other ball game. You'd be amazed at how many of my students, the wife cuts the guy's hair. She's like, meh. It's just short. It's and it's cheaper. Mind you, what do guys pay for hair? I think guys still can get a haircut for like $6. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think my husband pays like $15.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm just gonna do a chain now because that's what I like to do. I feel like I'm skilled because I'm like going quickly at it. You
are skilled.
I don't know what this is gonna be.
Stay tuned to find out.
What was the question?
Women
cutting men's hair.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my husband has, like, pretty basic hair. He goes to get a haircut because his hair is so thick that, like, regular, shears or whatever don't really do it. So he has to go to an actual barber. But I've dated guys in the past where, like, I've cut their hair for them. Because it's just, they give you the depth of razor or whatever it is that they want, and you just go to town. Like, there was no style. It's mainly, like, just a buzz.
A buzz cut, yeah. But, I mean, nowadays... guys are having a little bit long on one side. They're feathering it like Bon Jovi. Speaking of Bon Jovi, I saw an interview with him recently, and they're just talking about like him aging and da-da, and for the first time I was like, oh, okay, he is finally starting to age. I mean, he still looks fantastic.
He's just gorgeous.
He's a very sexy guy. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't
What
know.
is he in his 50s now? Or 60s?
I don't know if he's in his late 60s. No. Not late 60s. He might be in his late 50s.
We're going to have to Google it.
We're going to have to Google that. But yeah, he was always one fine specimen. And that hair. And, of course, that his hair came up in the interview. And the interviewer said, so I found out that your dad was a hairdresser. It was his dad or his uncle. Oh. So they did the hair of all the guys. And he goes, yeah, that's why I have great hair. And, of course, because he had that perfect layered shag, yeah. I'm like, that's the way to do it. You know, guys that had that mullet, it's like, no.
No, he knows where it's at.
No, he knows where it's at. But like everybody, he is starting to age. And it's so interesting because in your mind's eye, the way you remember people, it's always kind of a certain way, right? But, I mean, everything keeps moving forward.
Okay, look what I've done. I've connected it. I did on purpose. I tried.
Well, actually, you know what? This is a baby necklace.
Mm-hmm. It's a cat necklace.
It's for Nuzzle, her cat Nuzzle. We could sell that at many artisanal shops, craft fairs, and the like. Maybe we'll put some beads on it. I quite like it.
I'm going to just keep going.
Could be a bracelet.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to keep going.
See That's awesome, though. But you actually connected it with no guidance, no...
so let me try this.
You know,
let me
coaching
try this.
for
now
me.
I don't know where I am. Okay, here.
There you go.
Yeah, there I am.
Actually, this yarn I really like. It's especially kind of soft.
I like
yarn.
the color.
Yeah. Actually, this is left over from Evelina's when I did the Eeyore.
Oh, okay.
The stuffed animal, because I used that to make the... I know, but when I look at her blanket, I still say, oh, I have to do a redo. Like, that wasn't my best work.
But she loves it, right, Evelina? You loved it.
Right, Evelina?
She did. Yeah. She has it in the baby's room. It's it's a keepsake too. I mean, it's a lot of work went into it, and she appreciates it. And
I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed doing that blanket and the owl one because it's all motifs. Like it's modules, so you make all the little pieces and then you put them together. But they are time consuming because you have to make all the pieces first, then you have to make sure you can lay it out, make sure it all fits, and then you have to sew them together. And then if you want to make a border to even out the edges, you have to figure out and calculate how to do the stitches to make it all even out. And I mean, it is a labor of love. Like when it's done, you're like, oh, this is great. But I definitely I definitely don't want to do one right away again when I've just finished one because it's several weeks of work. But
it came out so cute. I know you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't feel it was your best work.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I did the Winnie the Pooh and his face is not perfectly round.
Right.
So he had that little chin thing, and then to take that and make it then into an octagon, it takes some like extra special math skills, and I don't know, I think I just hadn't worked the technique of how to work it into the stitches. I think if I did it again now, it would come out better. Mm-hmm. But, I think it definitely looks like Winnie the Pooh and the little piglet.
You know what it is, for sure.
So I'm happy that
But the Eeyore came out really well.
Yeah, I was excited to do. But those patterns are hard to find because I think...
Trademarked?
I think Disney has a trademark on replicas, and there are some places where you can buy the pattern. Like I bought the pattern of the Winnie the Pooh, somebody that made it. But it's very hard to find because I think there is a copyright on the replication of it. So with the piglet, I kind of just looked at a picture of the piglet and I kind of, just deduced the kind of stitches that I would do, the shape that I would do, all that jazz. But anywho, off for another year. So I don't know. I'm at a loss this year for gifts because last year everybody got the crochet gifts, but it's like, you can only make so many hats and scarves. And as we've discussed...
Don't bother for my kid.
How much Sarah loves getting scarves and hats as gifts. Because, like she says, I live in Canada. You don't think I have a stash?
Okay, but it's different when someone makes one for you. But when someone picks up a scarf for you at a gas station on the way to your Christmas party, it's like... Please just save the money. Like I would have been happy with a $5 Tim's card if that's the amount of effort you want to put in. And okay, so gift giving is such a dicey subject, right?
It is.
I like giving gifts because I give gifts to the people that I love.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than an obligatory gift. But here's the thing
Yeah.
about gift giving. Guys, PSA from Sarah.
This is going to be good.
If you are going to go to the effort to buy someone a gift, just give it like a millisecond of thought as to what that person, what that person might like. Like, you know, don't necessarily buy what you like. Like, if you're going to give something to someone else, it's the right thought that counts.
That's. I knew where you were going with that.
Yeah, it's the right thought. Like, put in some, because that's where this expression, it's the thought that counts. It don't mean give them a piece of garbage that you have wasted your money on because that person's not going to appreciate it.
And it is obvious when, it is true, it's the thought that counts, because it is obvious when there was no thought put into it.
Right, that's
like
what I'm
you
trying to
said,
say.
when you picked up this, dollar store candle and shoved it in a bag, and it's like, just don't get anything.
No, but a dollar store candle shoved in a bag, if that person likes candles,
yes,
or if you
that
know what I
person
mean,
likes
or
candles,
is into candles, or is
Exactly.
likes baths or something.
But if
like
you're
that.
just running through the aisles, just putting stuff in a bag just so that you show up with something, I actually would rather you just come over for dinner.
Or just like a Christmas card at that point. I'm dealing Christmas here at this point.
Yeah.
A Christmas card or something at that point that like has a really sweet personal message in it.
Absolutely.
Says more than like a Kit Kat or something like that. You know? And I mean, I'm going to probably get a lot of negative comments about this, and that's fine. This is just my opinion. I just feel like if you're going to spend your hard-earned money on someone else, like, put some thought into it. It doesn't have to be the most expensive thing. You don't have to go to the diamond dealer. Yeah. You can go to the dollar store, but
it's how it's put together.
Absolutely. And like, I think that I don't often enjoy getting scarves and hats that aren't handmade, because handmade, effort went into that, thought went into that, labor went into it, time went into it. You have picked colors that I like. Like, that stuff is meaningful and stuff I'll keep forever. Yeah. But, year after year after year, like, it's December, it's Christmas, I have a set of mittens. I have a set of mittens that match the jacket that I wear. I don't know, like, I'm going to come across as a snob here. I feel like the problem is that I put, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no.
I try and put in effort into the gifts that I give to people.
Yeah.
And again, I'm spending my hard-earned money on a gift for you because I love you and because I want to show you a token of appreciation for something or whatever. Yeah. So then to turn around and get a gift that's lackluster, sorry guys, is like somewhat disappointing, because I've put in thought. I didn't just like go onto Amazon and like, this one, deal of the day. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I didn't buy it for you on the way to go and see you. That's so just give that a second thought, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't have time to put the thought into something, you don't have time. We all live extremely busy lives. Yeah. Then just write a really nice card.
I agree, because then you know that there was thought and that person was thinking about you. And
or let's go for a coffee and celebrate Christmas.
This is why there was actually many years where I was a curmudgeon about Christmas, because I found, you remember those years, because I found it became obligatory, and especially when you're financially strapped.
Well, that's a big thing. It really is.
It does end up becoming a stress, as opposed to something where it's like, okay, it's Christmas. Our tradition is we generally get together, and even if we did like pick a name out of the hat thing, or do a handmade thing, even if it was something silly, it could make a laugh,
or say no gifts,
There's
nothing wrong with no gifts.
Exactly. But it's just when it starts becoming like, and people are giving ridiculous things like, I heard somebody the other day spend $1,500 on a gift for their kid. Like, that's the total they spent in total for their child. What are you going to do next year? I mean, you just have to keep. I mean, do what you want. Everybody has a personal thing, but that's a lot of money to spend on just one person. Yeah. And then you have your spouse and maybe other children and other nephews and nieces. Like, where is this money coming from? And I think for me, I just said, I'm done. Peace out. Like, I'm not doing Christmas, because that part of it became way too commercial, it became a financial stress. Totally. Frankly.
Yeah. I think, though, like, if you want to spend $1,500 on your kid or on your gift, like, some people's love language is gift giving, right?
Hey, and if you can afford it, by all means, go for it. But it's the people that, and I've seen it before where they're like, I had to spend blah, blah, blah. First of all, you didn't have to spend anything. But then they spend, like, January and February, like, stressed out because their visa bills are coming in and they can't afford it. Yeah. So,
like, be rational, people. Like, do what is within your means and within your heart. But, like, I think that, obviously this definitely hasn't come across in this conversation, but I don't think you have to give gifts for everyone at Christmas. Like,
I agree.
If I have several friends that I'm going to their houses to, celebrate Christmas, we have an arrangement that we buy gifts for the kids and that's it.
Yeah.
Because our gift to each other is spending time together. I'm going to bring her, the hostess, like a flower or a bottle of wine, or I'm going to bring some dessert or whatever. It's not going to be a big thing. Growing up with my parents, to be honest with you, my parents didn't ever really exchange gifts. I think they put all their efforts towards my brother and I.
You're right. I don't ever remember seeing my parents exchange
That
gifts.
being said, if you are watching, my husband, Christmas is coming.
This does not apply to you.
And listen, to be honest with you, like, this whole conversation is skewed by my love language is gifts.
Yes.
I like to get gifts for people. I do like to receive
But a
gifts.
gift could be something like that time when you bought me that the nail polish.
Yeah.
Okay, she had this awesome nail polish. It wasn't white. It wasn't not white. It was just
Funny Bunny by OPI.
Funny Bunny by OPI. So one day we go to hang out and Sarah presents me with this bottle of nail polish, and I just almost fell to tears because not because I couldn't freaking find it. I just I kept meaning to. She knew that I really liked it. Happened to be in the store and said, I know my girlfriend really likes it. I'm just going to pick her up a bottle. That kind of stuff to me is what real gift giving is. It's like you just it comes from you, and I think that you are that type of person that's why you love giving gifts so much. It's because you know that that little person likes this or this person likes that, and I think that's the beautiful thing about gift giving.
Yeah, I mean, there's situations obviously where maybe you don't know that person as well, or you're getting to know them, and that's fine. But that's when I think things like something like a little bit more sentimental, or just I think I'm just about if you're going to show someone love by giving them a gift or something like that, just think about what they want, not what's easiest for you to buy. And if you are in a situation that you're buying for what's easiest to buy, don't do it.
Yeah.
Just do something nice for them. Say, you know what, let's meet up for a coffee. Where it's Christmas time, let's meet up for a coffee and chat for an hour or whatever. I mean, there have been Christmases where you and I, neither of us had any money.
Right.
But we still were able to get together and have a coffee whatever, even just hang out. It's crackers and cheese tonight, but we're together and we're celebrating. Same thing with birthdays. I mean, we've had birthdays where we've spent money on each other. We've had birthdays where we haven't spent money on each other.
Right. So the basic do's and don'ts of the gift giving is be genuine.
Yeah.
And put an iota of thought.
If you're going to go the route of gift giving, which there's nothing wrong with not, then just give it a second of thought.
Yeah, I agree.
Or just don't, and there's nothing wrong with not giving gifts. Yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with not giving gifts. And the thing is communication. Set the parameters with your friends, with your families, if there are going to be. I mean, and if you're fine with not having it, then that's okay too. Different strokes for different folks. But I definitely think the communication thing is the big one. Because a lot of times I think, especially around Christmas time, maybe you're in a new relationship, maybe it's a new friendship, and you're still not sure of the ins and outs of kind of how that person thinks and works. And so sometimes we just kind of go along with what we think we're obligated to do. So communicate, just the ins and outs. Just have a chit chat. It's not a,
I mean, these are your loved ones. You should be able to talk.
Exactly. So just like when we are famished and we let each other know when we're hangry because, that's how we roll.
It could get ugly after that.
It could get ugly. We are Portuguese and we are both Monizes, so this can get intense. So we are thinking we're going to get some dinner, so we're going to wrap this up.
Sounds good. I have a long string going. Perfect.
Yes, wonderful lasso. We can post a tutorial on that of Sarah's lasso for you coming up soon. And in fact, we're definitely gonna have Miss Sarah as a recurring guest because normally we can talk people under the table, but today I felt like we were just doing more of a warm up chit chat.
I gotta get my finger callus going as well.
Oh man, it'll be good. And
I just can't stop now. I can't stop. I can do this forever. This whole thing's just gonna be one line.
Actually, you could drive home and I would hold on to the end and it will last all the way there. I love it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. If you enjoyed some of our Stitch Session conversations and you think that this is, it's a nice way to pass your time, you can share it with your friends. Please feel free to do so.
Subscribe,
especially if you enjoy some of our tutorials, our how-tos. We upload every Wednesday, and sometimes I throw in some extra little treats with some crochet basics, like on a Friday or something like that. So make sure to subscribe and click that notification button so you'll know when we upload. And in the meantime, we will see you in the next session. So take care. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy last sewing.
Happy last
You're with me.
Bye, guys.